grief, that's loud. Okay, I've done a bit of grinding, about 2 levels worth. Just to keep my fingers busy while GDQ's on. But now we have to backtrack quite a long way. I did about 2 levels of grinding for Ryu, which took a couple of hours or thereabouts. And as a result, everything between here and home is now trivial.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, alright. This is a very chill game to play.
Is it really?
Yep. When you're not, when you're anywhere above the level curve, like when you're on level curve, it's a bit nerve-wracking. But I am currently.
I don't know. I feel like I always tend to want to be on level curve, but I suppose it depends on the game.
I like being slightly over it. Usually, not always. But this game, like, once you get above the level curve, because encounters are so quick and so common, you just fall into a rhythm, and it's...
Oh yeah, no, I can get that actually.
It's as close to flow state as you get in a turn-based RPG. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So, what games have you finished since last we spoke? Since you said you were determined to finish them.
I finished Limbo.
That's good.
I don't have a lot of time to play it. I'm near the end of Phoenix Wright, actually, the first one.
Good. I really didn't get on with Phoenix Wright when I tried it. I might have...
I think I'm really enjoying it. I think the investigation stuff kind of... The interface to it rubs me a bit weird, but I really like trial stuff a lot, and it's really kind of I know there's a kind of really good catharsis to it when you've kind of won.
I just found it too unpredictable what would and wouldn't work, I guess.
I don't really feel like it's been like that. I haven't felt as though it's been unrealistic. Well, it's not been realistic, but it's, you know, I feel like stuff has had a proper reasoning.
I didn't gel with it, basically. I got really frustrated towards the end. Like I played it in like 2008, and most of my friends were completely bananas for the game, and I just was already feeling a bit left out by how much they loved it, and then to have on top of it the fact that I didn't get on with the game, I guess was a bit alienating.
Oh yeah, no, it's at this point it's like nobody's really talking about it as much.
Yeah.
So it's a lot nicer.
It's always the best way to appreciate a game is when everybody else has shut up about it.
Yeah, or when no one's talking about it, or there's the point where everyone's staying quiet because they know no one else wants to talk about it yet because they haven't finished it. You know, that sort of thing. Then you get an entire discourse of you should play this game, but not any rhyme or reason why.
Yeah, I'm lucky that mostly I've been able to avoid that for a while. But of course we got Final Fantasy 15 in 2 months now? 2.5 months.
The game looks fascinating anyway.
Yeah. But the discourse is going to be bad.
Oh, of course it is. It's always bad. I have never seen a JRPG discourse that has been, I don't know, useful. or just like not good. Like it's just always. It always feels as though like half of stuff written about JRPGs when a new big one comes out is just people suddenly discovering what these things are. Or just assuming they know everything based on having played Final Fantasy VI at one point.
Or 7.
Yeah.
FF7
Or 7 these days.
Or, like, 7 fans are as bad for that as 6.
Or just like, hey, it's a game with experience points, so you grind, right?
I mean, I grind, but that's because I'm a scrub.
I grind because I want all the stupid things.
Doing my Persona 3 videos, like,
Oh yeah.
because of the guide I'm using, there isn't a, like, it tends to be like, don't go to Tartarus at all because you're busy doing real world stuff, until go to Tartarus now and do literally every bit of grinding that is currently available. And then you won't be there again for 3 weeks. Which means that some videos are taking a lot longer to produce than others.
Oh, of course. I find it was easier to stop in Tartarus in Persona 3 than it was in 4.
Well, like, 4's got discrete endpoints for every, like, because the TV worlds are all separate levels, whereas P3's Tartarus just puts a wall.
Well, but you've still got to go in there and gain experience. It's just that Persona 3 has the whole system of if you spend too long in there, your characters get tired.
Yeah.
And they become less effective over time, whereas in 4, you can, at a certain point, just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Mm.
There's a thing you pay to heal you, and in 4, at a certain point, you will earn more money than you pay to heal.
Yeah.
So you can.
Well, I'm playing P3 Portable, which has the clock which you can heal at.
System. Yeah. Whereas in the original P3, if you go to the bottom floor, it heals you fully automatically. On the PS2. But in there's like stuff I like about how the PS2 one's structured, but there's stuff I like about how the PSP one plays.
What have we here? I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to save state. One moment.
You definitely figure out keyboard shortcuts for that.
Yeah, I did, but I haven't played this in a week, and I forgot my keyboard shortcuts because I've been playing on my PSP emulator, which has controller shortcuts for save stating, which is simultaneously the best thing and the worst possible temptation. I've been playing Disgaea 2, and save stating for every spell in case it misses in some cases. It's a little bit gross.
My favourite thing is a lot of the Sid Meier games will have those numbers generated before, so you can't save scum it. But you can go to a different position and do something. But it is the random number. All of the random number stuff is decided in advance, just so you can't so easily save scum. But though I think those are different types of games, to be fair.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not so. I mean, XCOM is kind of about progress, but Civilization is kind of more. I find that's a game I can still enjoy, even if it goes badly. I think XCOM to some extent, can work, but
I don't really have the patience for a Civ. they're too long.
I love Civ. It's one of my favourite
That's fair.
game series.
Like, I like dipping into them occasionally, but I never got very far. My sister has completed multiple games of Civ 2, and I'm like, what? How are you gonna do this?
I've completed 2 games of Civ 2. But
I think I want to go.
it'll only take you about 7 or 8 hours to go through a full game of Civ if you're playing at normal speed. I mean, the new one I think is going to have more high-speed stuff, working a bit faster. Because I think Civ works best in a multiplayer setting.
Maybe, but then you got the problem of organising that many Civ players.
Oh, of course, yeah, that was a nightmare, and it's easier to do that with Civ 4 than it is Civ 5, because Civ 5's multiplayer is broken.
Ah, that'd do it. You see, my Civ experience is all Civ 2, which does it even have an online multiplayer?
I think
it must have an online multiplayer, but like I never got to use it.
I think it's kind of a bit too early, because I played Civ 2 for a while, and I went straight on to 4 and 5. And I prefer 4 over 5, but because of some other like weird stuff, like you can stack units in 4, so you can just do some ridiculous things, but it doesn't stop everyone else from doing it. But 5 has some really good interface stuff and just how it moves together, and it's got a good, better flow to it. And it's kind of like, because they've made Civilization Revolution before 5, which is the console Civilization, and I think they kind of seem to have learned from that in terms of making interfaces a bit easier to use.
Yeah. I need to start paying attention here because I've gone up a monster tier. And suddenly the encounters are hurting. And my main healer has been left behind, which isn't ideal.
So this is the retranslation then?
This is the retranslation of the SNES game.
One question, is Leroy playing the original translation?
I know Leroy's not playing this version, but I'm not sure which version he's playing. He has played, like, I think both versions of the game before.
Oh.
He's into the older, kind of, more Dragon Quest-y games.
I know, yeah, he is.
What?
But, it's just always the thing of, like, whenever you guys are playing like some newer translation, he's always seems to be playing the old one.
Okay, I can't go to Windia. I thought that was where I needed to go next. Oh jeez. This ball's gonna fuck me up. Oh, I had initiative. Maybe this ball isn't going to get a turn. It's getting 1 turn. That's okay. I can handle that.
Have you made any more progress in Lost Odyssey?
Where was I up to last we spoke about that game?
There was some point in Disc 2, I think.
I'm in the middle of Disc 3.
Okay, so you made a fair bit then.
Yeah, I'm in the bit where the party's all split up all over the place.
One of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I only made it through, I think there's a bit in Disc 2 where there's a witch or something.
Oh, yeah. Did you
That's why I gave up.
Yeah, the witch turns out to be Kaim's wife.
Oh, you know what, that's the point I gave up, just after that.
Fair, to be honest.
It was more to do with the battles than anything.
I figured out what's up with the battles.
Oh yeah?
Right? there was part of the general critique of JRPGs at the time was that the battles get really repetitive, yeah, because you know, part of how JRPGs work is you fight the same encounters lots of times. But Lost Odyssey is designed with the assumption that you will actually only fight like 3 or 4 battles per zone, because you don't get XP because the XP drop off is so sharp. You don't get, like, once you stop getting XP, there's no point fighting more battles, unless you have a specific skill you want to learn. So it's designed for you to only ever fight an encounter maybe twice. And once I started doing that, the combat got a lot more bearable.
See, that pace for that kind of combat, I think, makes a lot more sense.
It's just because it's still using random encounters, the pacing is kind of implemented really poorly.
I think that is a case where on-screen encounter seems to fit more.
Yeah, like, what I was about to say is, I think that's a problem that FF13 solved. Because FF13, you fight each encounter exactly once, and each encounter is different.
With a very small handful of exceptions.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are very similar, but each one builds on the previous one somehow.
There are some encounters you can actually just turn a corner and go right back to.
Yeah, if you're careless.
Or if you just want to grind.
Yeah. That was a really timely counterattack.
No, I think it was sort of at a point, because FF13 kind of was it was when I was kind of really properly getting more into JRPGs. And I think I grinded a lot because I was still in the mode of assuming, oh, that's just what you do. You level really high, so then you beat everything.
Yeah. But FF13 just doesn't let you grind past the point it wants you to be at.
And I think that really helped a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Marcus in chat, the game that solves all problems with JRPGs. You know, you joke, but you're not actually wrong. FF13 is a really well-polished game, and it gets so much shit, and it's great. Sorry?
Well, you wrote FF12.
Oh, he did. I don't agree with that. Like, I love FF12, but it kind of just ignores all those problems and does something different.
I don't think any game solves the problems of old JRPGs, because it's such a.
Yeah. I thought he meant 13.
Yeah. But let's finally take the JRPGs into real time. Star Ocean has now done it for the first time.
I'm glad Devin's asleep.
God, I should get back to streaming 3. That was an experience.
Maybe. I've got 4 on my shelf for later this year.
Also on my shelf. But then I have loads of shelves.
Now, my immediate to play shelf is like right next to my computer, but only has room for about a dozen games. So currently queued up: Lost Odyssey, Infinite Undiscovery, Disgaea 3, White Knight Chronicles, Demon Souls, Star Ocean 4, Nier, and Ni no Kuni. Because I am nothing if not entirely on brand.
Is Nier the next one after this?
Nier is the next episode after Breath of the Fire 2, yes. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also worried about it because I don't want to hate it. It looks like such an interesting game.
Yeah, it's I've played a bit of it, not a lot of it, like about 6 or 7 hours or so, I think. I got up to the fishing town bit where I got the famous fishing town bit where Justin McElroy gave up.
Devon has promised that he's going to teach us to fish, which I assume means that fishing is absolutely terrible.
It's there's one of the guys who writes for Polygon. Before he wrote for Polygon, I think it was Joystick or something. He was supposed to be reviewing Nier, but he didn't because he got to the point where you have to fish and couldn't progress. But what it turned out is he was fishing in the wrong place.
Oh god, that is exactly the right way to piss Devon off as well.
Yeah.
Where do I go? I don't know what to do.
To be fair, it's the sort of thing where if you're working pre-release, there's not going to be any walkthroughs out. How are you supposed to know?
Well, ideally the game would give you some guidance, but that's often too much to hope for, particularly with a game as weird as Nier.
You've had mostly 6s in terms of review scores, but it just seems interesting in a way that like some of the reviewers who gave it 6s kind of speak highly of it.
I think it's probably a game that's aged quite well. I didn't want to come in here.
And I think a lot of the, especially like you realise that some reviewers, when they give something a 6, it doesn't mean they hate it.
Well, like, even putting aside whether or not review scores mean anything at all, the pattern of review scores in video games is absurd.
Yeah.
Just as a statistical thing.
I don't know, because I've written scored reviews, and I don't know, sometimes the number feels arbitrary, but sometimes it's just it's a gut feeling kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it depends, really, because if I dislike something, I'll probably give it. I guess it depends, like how much I dislike. I suppose, like if I like it, it's at least a 6. Like if I've got positive things to say, it's a 6.
I suppose I shouldn't make too much of a fuss about video game review scores because I'm an academic and I mark papers, and we have a scale of 1 to 100 in which we give marks exclusively between 40 and 70, which is also nonsense.
Yeah. I think most of my uni marks were wildly between 40 and 70. And then I ended up with a 2-1.
That's alright.
Which is fine. Yeah. People were... I suppose graduation soon for stuff, isn't it?
Yep.
That sort of thing.
I've been invited to process, but because I'm an academic now, but no. Life's too short.
Huh.
I actually really hate graduation ceremonies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of the 3 I'm entitled to... Oh, something's happening. I found plot. Of the 3 I've been entitled to, I've only gone to 1, and it was just such a waste of time.
I went... Well, mine... I went to, and they had... Because they always have a lot of them have, like, a celebrity.
Yeah.
If they can get one. And it was Bob Mortimer.
I missed Elvis Costello at my undergrad graduation.
Oh my god!
Which, yeah, like, if I'd known that, I'd have gone, but at my master's grad, which is the one I went to, there was nobody. They didn't have a guest graduate at all.
They had Bob Mortimer, because he's from around the area where I went to uni, so... But... Yeah,
well, I mean, same with Elvis Costello in Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. Because I went... Because I've kind of, like... I was there for the ceremony. Like, it was a bit awkward. It was just kind of cool to just have the stuff, I guess. But I was just mostly there so I could see friends again.
Yeah.
Because it was just like most of my friends were on the other side of the country. Because I wasn't there just for the day of graduation. I was there for a few days.
Ah, fair enough.
And I was a bit underwhelmed by the whole buffet at the graduation.
Well, that's a fixture.
Everyone had eaten the good food already.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I went in, oh, still this good food. Oh, where's my friend? He's over there. Okay, I'll just go get him, and then gets the food. Oh, where's this food gone?
Well, graduates are like the hungriest people in the world, so...
It's like student habits. It's like they see a freebie and just go, ooh, that's for me, isn't it? I had a really silly. There was a really silly situation at work today.
Oh?
Because it's a book selling company,
Yeah.
and we sometimes put out a catalogue, and sometimes older generation orders through the catalogue, and they do it over the phone. So they had one over the phone. But the problem was, this person on the phone was hard of hearing.
Oh god.
So it was literally, I had to walk out the room because I couldn't concentrate on my work because I just kept laughing. But the woman on the phone to the customer was literally shouting down the phone, "Can I have your order details? Yes, it's going to cost this much. Thank you for your order." And then it got to a point where she was just like, "No, I don't need to know any more. Thank you for your order. Goodbye." And didn't hang up on her, but it just went on for about 10 minutes. And then one of the other guys jokes, she's probably asking for an audiobook.
Probably not jokes that we should be enthusiastic about there, really.
No.
It's one of the thugs, they're back. What are these thugs up to?
Goon stuff.
Yeah, I guess what's happened is they've kidnapped the Batgirl's sister in order to get the Batgirl to do some thievery for them. Because the Batgirl is the thief that who actually committed the thievery, we think, that our buddy has been accused of.
Huh.
I think I follow everything. Haven't been paying that much attention.
I've been paying less.
Yes, they're holding Nina's sister hostage. That's a good threat. I'm going to rip him apart and put him back together inside out. I like that.
I'm just checking my JRPG alert, Google alert, see what's here today.
It's been quiet for a while.
It has been, because it's just kind of been it's been a lot of the same stuff, and I feel it seems a bit. And it's usually because JRPGs are actually coming out the last few months.
Yeah.
So it's mostly been just reviews. This is a review of As Divine Hearts for the Nintendo Wii U, which is a Kemco game. I think Leroy plays Kemco games, doesn't he?
Leroy's quite a fan of Kemco, I think.
Yeah. I can actually see the appeal of them, that's the thing.
I don't think I've ever played one. We should probably put one on the podcast schedule.
Yeah. Oh, here's one about a JRPG that looks like it might not actually be a JRPG. Yeah, it's made by a guy from Texas.
Sigh.
Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. It's made an RPG Maker, but it does have its own look to it. It doesn't use the stock assets.
That's alright, I suppose. But why not just call it an RPG Maker game?
It seems more of a thing of the. Let's see. Yeah, the actual. Let's see. No. Oh no. The copy itself of the game calls itself a JRPG, but I thought it would have been just the Silicon Era post. That's what most of my alert is posts from Silicon Era.
Lovely.
To be fair, most of what Silicon Era has is just, here is this thing that's coming out, here's what it is. It's like they've just taken a press release or something most of the time.
Yeah.
What else have we got? A review of Tokyo Mirage Sessions from the Financial Post.
Every newspaper's got to have a review section these days.
I think I read the review of Tokyo Mirage Sessions on the Metro the other day, or probably last week.
Oh boy.
I ended up reading the Metro because I'm sat on the train for a couple hours.
Yep, I have commuted by train in the past, and I remember it well.
Sometimes it's alright in there, but sometimes it's not.
Do they still run the Nemi cartoons? Because they were good.
I don't really read the cartoons, actually, but I don't think I've seen cartoons in it, actually. I've looked through and don't tend to see them.
They usually buried one or other side of the adverts, but
Alright.
now I can fight these guys. Hooray!
I just remember the Metro being a pretty good paper to work with when I was at a PR company, because they frequently publish some stories we'd send them.
Ah. You know that's not how newspapers are supposed to work, right?
I know. They turn themselves into factories, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Metro is
it wants to be BuzzFeed now.
yeah.
But no, there's some other stuff about those stories I could tell you, but not publicly.
I need to fight you because you're standing in front of a switch.
Let's see this Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Oh god, this is painful to read, actually. This might be a hate read, I don't know. It's a bit indigestible to start, but stick with it. Japanese developers don't do themselves any favours by slapping undecipherable names like Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE on their games. I mean, that's not undecipherable. I don't see what's undecipherable about it. Most prospective players won't have. It says it won't have the foggiest idea what the Wii U exclusive is about, even though it says on the box that it's a role-playing game.
Oh god, I'm poisoned. This isn't good. Why do I have a spell that costs 20 MP on a character who has a max MP of 8?
It seems like something else, wasn't it? Wasn't that a thing in Final Fantasy IV?
Well, it was a plot point in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a plot point here. Don't poison me. Thank you. Oh god, stop poisoning.
Oh god, this is just like, it's one of the, this review is just, it's basically like, I was put off by how Japanese it is.
Of course.
I've heard that too many times and it's kind of annoying.
I found out that this game doesn't automatically stack items. Like you have to sort your inventory to stack them, otherwise they take up a slot each.
That's odd. But I think that's because it is old.
And it's not that old.
I mean, what? It's 1993. It's the day it came out the day I was born.
And there are plenty of games from the early 90s that can do item stacking by default.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, has Capcom worked on an RPG before this?
I mean, presumably Breath of Fire 1.
Oh, it's Breath of Fire 2. Oh, yes. I don't think it's the first one. No, this one's like 95, isn't it? Fuck, I'm tired. I really am tired.
Sympathies, though yours is probably less self-inflicted than mine.
I mean, I get up at 5:30 in the morning.
That'd do it. I mean, you're getting up not long after I've been going to bed this week with the GDQ and everything.
No, I'm staying up to watch GDQ tonight. To watch Mario Maker.
That's probably reasonable.
Because Mario Maker was
Usually worth watching.
It was the best thing last time I watched. I was actually making noise, going, "Oh my god!" kind of thing. So yeah, I'm definitely watching Mario Maker.
Yeah. And I suppose all I've got to do tomorrow, besides make my day's Persona vid, is prepare notes for podcasting on Birth by Sleep. Not Birth by Sleep, Chain of Memories. Which I'm doing with M from Abnormal Mapping on Sunday.
I think I've seen you guys tweet about that a bit.
Yeah.
What am I going to do tomorrow? I'm going to do fuckball tomorrow because it's the first time I get to do this in like weeks. Pretty much since I've started my job, this will be the first time I get to just sit and do fuck all.
Nice. Are these enemies just going to lower my attack over and over again? No, they can also attack themselves.
I thought it would be like some Metapod type thing.
And it's a little bit.
God, just the... Like... Who thought just a Pokemon that only knows one stat base? I mean, it makes sort of sense, but it also just...
And this is a phenomenon I know only from the memes, so...
Oh no, it's a Kakuna or Metapod in the wild only knows how to use the move Harden.
Yeah.
So it just boosts its own defense. So it can't attack. And all it does is it just makes itself harder to kill. So catching one of those just
takes a while.
Well, it doesn't take a while. You don't want to catch it. You want to evolve another Pokemon into it. Is it the second evolution? It's the second stage. But
Silver
the bug
Knife.
Pokemon, those seem to be in the first game especially. The bug Pokemon are kind of the low tier because they kind of go through all their stuff at fairly low levels. So they'll be at the like final evolution by about 10 or 15. As opposed to like the bigger ones later being about 40 or 50.
I'm really glad I did all that grinding, because here I am one-shotting these current story mobs. It's making this a lot easier than it might otherwise be. Not one-shotting these fuckers, but these guys don't do much damage, so it's okay.
I think with the whole Cocoon Pokemon using Harden thing, it's telling that future Cocoon type Pokemon then are able to use attacks.
Bad SNES era JRPG exploration controls plus a slightly dead X360 D-pad are a bad combination.
Yeah. There's... It was Suikoden was that the movement in that game kind of irks me a bit. Well, that game is actually paced kind of nicely, but it's just moving around.
We have to.
The game is.
We've got Suikoden. We've got a Suikoden game on our list for I think December, but we haven't decided which one to do.
The one everyone talks about is 2.
That's probably one to avoid, because every time we do a game everyone talks about, it turns out to be terrible. See also Xenogears.
I find that with Xenogears, it doesn't seem to be that everyone talks about it, but that there are a certain few people that talk about it a lot.
I mean, that's true with pretty much all JRPGs. Aha! I have found...
I mean, what else have you got on there? I mean, it's mostly just but it's the not necessarily the obvious. I mean, I suppose the big one you've done is Final Fantasy Tactics. Because that seems to be even played a lot of people. Like, I seem to know 50 billion people with opinions on Final Fantasy Tactics. It's usually the same opinion as well. And, Nier seems to have a bit of a consensus it seems to have more of a positive public consensus than the review consensus.
I think that very much depends on your crowd.
I suppose. Yeah. But then again, this was someone who seemed to actively enjoy Neptunia that I talked with. I think I know I know 2 people that enjoy Neptunia. I was just put on Twitter the other day. Is just sort of curious to see, like, do people who buy Neptunia just like curious about how bad it is or something?
And that's why I bought it.
And I had some interesting responses. One saying that there's a lot of people that maybe that buy them but don't necessarily play them. And one also pointing out that they usually launch with a 50 to 80% discount on Steam.
Yep, I got my copy of Net Rebirth 1 for like $5 maybe.
I think I'd say maybe one podcast about Neptunia, but then Devon would explode.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
I just put some money onto the Patreon, actually. Or pledged some money.
Please do.
I have done it.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. $10.
It's not nothing.
Yeah. But subject to change depending on exchange rate.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be constantly fluctuating.
I think it's just gonna be bad at the moment.
Yeah, it's the pound sterling is the lowest performing currency at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, it's decided in dollars. I might just stick with it and just maybe not buy a packet of sweets at some point. That'll literally probably be the difference.
Very kind of you. Oh my god, stop summoning reinforcements, you fucks.
I say that having bought like 3 packets of sweets before watching a movie at the cinema and then only eating 1 packet.
I can hardly talk.
There's like caramel chocolate Mentos now.
That sounds pretty good.
They're basically reverse Rolos.
No, that sounds sticky.
It's not. It's
Very
not
hard to package.
Well, they're kind of shaped like Mentos a bit. It's like more of a toffee kind of thing-ish.
Why do all the bad guys turn into demons? This is the second chapter bad guy who's just randomly turned into a demon. Why?
Someone drew some boss designs and then went, sure, we'll fit them in somewhere.
Now, I think it was Frost.
God, this music sounds so Mega Man 2-ish.
Yep.
Mega Man X, sorry. I want to say Mega Man 2.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know why I said 2. Maybe because that's like one of the only ones I've made progress in.
Maybe?
And I've only ever finished 1 Mega Man game.
I haven't finished any of them.
I finished X7 on the PS2. And I enjoyed it. And I used to be like, I'm going to play this and see how fast I can finish it.
And there are Mega Man X speedruns on at the moment at SGDQ. But Mega Man speedruns universally leave me completely cold for some reason, so...
I'm not interested.
And the worst thing is, like, watching them, you can see how skilled they are. It's not the problem with them not being easy to understand or whatever. Something about the way they're presented, always I switch off. So I thought I'd get on with some of this, because I'm going to be...
Remember why I said 2? Because it's Mega Man 02. This current run.
Ah.
I mean, I've enjoyed bits of Mega Man games I'm playing, but...
I don't think I'd enjoy playing it. They're definitely not my kind of game. I like platformers, but not combat platformers. There we go, that wasn't too hard.
See, I enjoy combat-oriented side-scrollers because I like playing treasure games, but those are a different breed of game.
Yes.
I think
Palace? Why? Your sister is from the palace, so does that mean you're from the palace? And if so, why are you running around scrapping with brigands and going to magical school? still don't understand what the gem that changes colour on some text boxes is. Oh shit, I'm still poisoned. Can I do anything about being poisoned? Nope. Oh boy.
Let's hope you don't die.
I have 2 characters poisoned and 120 HP's worth. No, 80 HP's worth of healing spells. Total.
Ooh.
And yeah, that cost me, just clearing this room cost me 60 HP in poison damage. On the other hand, I'm getting some wicked dubstep from the music. I can't remember the way out. Shit, where do I go? I think it's this way.
I mute for a second and heard that.
Fortunately, I should be able to win these encounters on the first turn. Still, that's the lowest I think I've ever had the encounter rate be.
I wonder if there's some RPGs out there that have responsive encounter rates.
Almost certainly.
It's probably there, but they don't tell you about it. Like how Resident Evil 4 has responsive difficulty. Where you choose your difficulty selection, but also that game changes based on how good you are.
That's one way of handling it, I suppose.
Like, if you keep dying at a certain point, they'll not spawn as much enemies there. Because it's... But... And I suppose it's the sort of thing where if you decide to go through it and do it first time with the right amount of enemies, I suppose it can still be a point of pride if you're doing it for the sake of beating the difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely games that have, like... What have I been playing recently that does that? Where... Oh, I mean, MMOs do it, of course. Like, the more you wipe on a boss, you get a stacking buff.
Huh.
Usually not in the ultra competitive modes, but in the kind of raid finder type, everyone plays it.
Yeah. I know what I mean. There's... So I can think of like responsive design, that type of thing, but only in the context of other games. Like, shmups tend to do it a lot. Where, I know I've been playing the bullet hell game Crimson Clover World Ignition, and that game, it doesn't get easier, it gets harder depending on your score.
there's also like Demon Souls, which is another one that gets harder because of like soul tendency mechanics. I don't really understand what that system does, but
I don't think many people do.
well, we shall find out later in the year when I get around to LPing it.
Demon Souls is one of the ones I haven't played. I have finished all 3 Dark Souls games.
They're not games I'd go anywhere near if it wasn't a research thing.
That's the thing, for the first Dark Souls, I was really butting my head against the wall and really disliking it. But I sort of got used to a certain playstyle, and I love the games. I just got way too into them.
It's fair enough. I'm not going to begrudge them to anybody.
No. Again, it was also a personal, contextual thing. As I said, you are probably not necessarily going to have the same experience.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the speedrun from, I think it was Monday or maybe even Sunday night of Demon Souls.
No.
But like, I think when I do my LP, I'm gonna borrow some of those strats, like, because some very silly stuff in that speedrun.
God, that's a flashing light there.
Was it?
Yeah. The lightning move.
Oh.
There are actually some Super Nintendo Virtual Console stuff where they've edited out flashing lights because I suppose they're concerned about seizures.
Yep. That's probably for the best.
Yeah. I watched a movie today with a hell of a lot of flashing lights.
Oh?
There's the Neon Demon.
Blimey.
It's just in the cinema today.
So there's a character here yelling about a black winged one will come or something. So apparently to get into this town I have to go through a labyrinth constructed to keep out invaders. Because of course. Well, there's a labyrinth that people appear to live in.
I'm seeing a lot of people on social media on Pokemon Go,
Yep.
and I don't know if I should.
It'll last a week. It doesn't even run well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Although I suppose, like, with where you're living and working, you'll have plenty of opportunity to capture stuff.
I live in a place, I work in a place where there's no phone signal.
Oh, okay. Maybe not then.
I work in Westbury, which has nothing in it. Like, there's nothing there. It's just where my job is. That's all I go to. That's all you can go to it for. I mean, there's a pub near the train station, and that's about it.
At least there's a pub.
I've never been in it. There's pubs everywhere.
Yeah.
This is England. I suppose there's both pubs everywhere in Scotland as well, and probably Wales and Ireland.
Probably. Like, this is a legit fucking dungeon with no encounters.
Huh.
Just why? The fuck, Capcom?
I've got a lot of time to pass before the Mario Maker run, actually, so I'm tempted to switch to the Mirage Sessions on. Play that.
Yeah, go for it.
my Wii U remote, my Wii U controller was out of battery. That's the thing, I've been using the TV remote function on the Wii U quite a lot. Even when I'm not using the Wii U. Mostly because I can't find my TV. Oh, there it is. As soon as I said, oh, I can't find my TV remote, I found it.
Jolly good.
I think maybe I'll use this weekend to make progress in Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I mean, JRPGs are great to play while watching GDQ, I can confirm that.
I'm not watching GDQ right now, I'm watching another JRPG.
Yes, true. Why am I randomly watching a friggin' magic trick? Why? What? Just... the fuck? I just stepped out of this castle, and this magician is trying to put me in a box to make me disappear. Complete with terrible drumroll sound effect.
I really like how the skill learning is done in Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh?
It's done, you know how Final Fantasy IX's skills work
Ah, right.
like via equipment. It's done with weapons here.
Wait, I'm adrift in a dimensional vortex?
Okay.
Apparently it wasn't like a conjuring trick, it was actual magic. I've been banished to the void by a fucking monkey.
This is, yes, the bad ending.
Oh, this guy's a piece of shit. Apparently I was just underground. As in, I've just dug up from underground. Well, I found Junpei. And or Yosuke. And or Zelos, Alvin, Raven, the list goes on.
I'm playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It's hard not to try and make Persona comparisons.
like, it's a Shin Megami Tensei game. Of course, there are so many connections.
Yeah. But I always feel when I do stuff like that, making those kinds of comparisons, I always feel like I'm being unfair.
Well, I mean, if it's if you're talking about the battle systems, I don't think that's a negative thing. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
Persona's battle systems are really good.
I
They're
really like
simple, but
the way it's done in Shin Megami Tensei 4 and 3 as well, which is kind of where the sort of take extra turn system comes from. But it's those battles are a bit more difficult and challenging in those games, but I like 4 because it's got really good pacing to the battles, where they're over really snappily. Yeah, basically in this game, every weapon has 4 abilities on it, and you run through learning all those abilities, and then you master that weapon. So you can then maybe in future equip new weapons with newer abilities on. But also, if a weapon already has an ability you've learned, learning that ability again just enhances that one ability, so it becomes a +1. But also, it's not just there's abilities you can use actively, so like your skills, and then there's passive ones, but also session skills.
yeah.
Which is what it has instead of the whole once more sort of thing. Where instead there are set attacks that are done. So like if I hit someone with a fire attack and expose a weakness, then someone uses like a specific attack which leads after fire. So you've also got to think of, when using a skill, is the enemy also weak or resistant or reflects the other attack that's going to hit it?
Yeah.
Also, yeah, the resistances and weaknesses of the characters are decided by the weapon. So you've got to kind of equip the right ones.
Is this the end? This is the end. Hooray.
Also, I just think the session mechanic is kind of satisfying because they chain one after the other.
Cascade effects like that usually are pretty satisfying to play with.
And as I understand, later in the game it gets to a point where you can learn an ability which means a party member can do a session skill when they're not in the active party. So you can get longer combinations. So at a certain ridiculous point, maybe the entire party taking part in one attack. Which I think would be pretty sweet.
Come the heck down to Whale Cape for all your bun whale needs. Add this to the list of games with whales in, I suppose.
It's also really easy to get a first strike in this game.
I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going at the moment.
I apologise if the game is coming through the microphone.
Don't worry about it. It's not loud enough to be disruptive, and this isn't a terribly serious stream. Like, it's not like we're having really deep critical conversations that somebody yelling about Fire Emblem School Idols is going to be disruptive to.
But it's so Japanese.
How terrible.
You'd think a game with Tokyo in the title would be at least a bit Japanese.
You would hope so, yeah.
Either that or it's just someone who really likes cyberpunk stuff or something.
Yeah, true.
Like
What the unholy god are those enemies? It's just a whole bunch of forearms wiggling around.
I'm sure he's harmless.
Handy fungus.
Is that what they're actually... Oh my god.
They're actually called handy fungus. Lightning incoming.
There's also one thing I like about this game is certain moves which the enemies are weak to can turn into what's called ad-lib performances.
Oh?
Which is it's kind of basically like a critical hit, but it does a sort of action based on something they've done or whatever. So one of the characters plays a bad guy in a live-action superhero show. You know, those like, basically like Sentai on stage kind of thing.
Right.
And his ad-lib performance is then he turns into that bad guy in the terrible costume as well and charges at the enemy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is really cool.
It's weird to me that I'm getting like 200 XP a fight now. And I'm already in the range of needing thousands per level, but... Oh, and actually, it's because... So this game has a weird thing where, like, the encounter's worth a certain amount of HP per character, but it tells you the total amount given to all characters put together. So if, like, the encounter's worth 50 HP per character, it tells you it's worth 200 if you've got 4 characters in the party, but if you only had 2 characters in the party, it would tell you got only 100 XP. Which is, like, the most backwards way of doing that.
There are some games that only tell you the total XP. Persona does that, actually.
Yeah, it's not that, it's the fact that because of the way it's calculated, the total XP varies with your party size, and it still tells you the total XP.
Yeah.
Poison mover.
Persona, the way Persona does it is it tells you the total XP, but it tells you the per party total XP. So it will be higher if you have less party members.
Right, yeah, this one it's higher if you have more party members. At least these things counter easily. You can tell this is an old game because it doesn't even have, like, town name banners when you enter a new zone.
I feel that is something that took a while to come about, though. Like, I don't remember that being as much of a thing in a lot of games I've played, like, from a while back.
Yeah. Would in this case be really helpful, though.
Like, I think not necessarily a lot of Final Fantasy games have town. I think they've gone back and forth on whether or not to have town names or whatever. Or they just do the whole, here's the name of the place in fancy writing the first time you get to it. Like, Final Fantasy 9 does that. I don't think 10 does at all.
Maybe not. 12 and 13 definitely do.
Yeah, they do. I think there's I think about 10, because of the way the new hardware and they're working in a different way, it kind of feels like in some way they scaled back the production a bit. Where they don't do as much with camera and blocking and things like that.
I think with 10, like, there was so much experimentation going on with what character models were capable of on the PS2 versus PS1.
Yeah, I think 10 is a bit less cinematic looking than the PS1 games.
Yes and no. I mean, the PS1 games.
I don't mean that as a disparaging.
No, like the in-engine stuff in the PS1 games very much isn't cinematic. It's very.
I would kind of disagree, because there's a lot of use of camera.
Yes, but it's not a cinematic use of camera. Like, it's not cinematography. It's not stuff that you can usefully apply the analysis of cinematography to.
I think there are some genuinely decent shots.
Oh yeah, visually it's a very well composed game, but like FF10 particularly moves from a more specifically kind of video gamey use of the camera to trying to be cinematography. Marcus, the word is ludotography, and I'm going to make it a thing. But yeah, the camera style in 10 is trying to be cinematic, but often can't be because they can't get too close to the models, because the models are crap.
Also, it feels kind of more robotic. I don't think that's more of a result of the technology more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's also the voice acting, and particularly the technological side of the voice acting, because the talking is very oddly paced.
There are also some types of camera use where I've seen used in more high resolution modern games, and they look weird.
I mean, Lost Odyssey has very FF10 camera use, and
yeah, it does.
Even only being 5-6 years later, it really looks strained at times.
Yeah.
Where the hell am I going?
And when you get to 12, which has, I don't know, I don't know I can't speak to its cutscenes, but especially
12
the game has more of a fixed, not fit, but like you kind of control the camera more.
Yeah, like in the exploration, you control the camera. The cutscenes in 12, I think, are actually pretty well composed. It cribs very heavily from George Lucas.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from when I started the opening cutscene. It felt very prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the prequel trilogy, there's some like well composed.
I mean, one of my favourite shots in cinema is the opening shot of Revenge of the Sith.
Well, yeah, that's a really long shot.
It's a really long shot, but it's pretty high value.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad shot by any means.
And then there's a lot of shots in Revenge of the Sith that are really boring.
I like Revenge of the Sith.
There's a lot of like shot, reverse shot conversation scenes. Which
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I don't dislike it as much as the other two, but I'm not going to pretend it's perfect either.
Yeah. Well, like, Star Wars has never been cinematically terribly clever.
I mean, it's kind of cribs from everything, a load of other things.
Well, fundamentally, it's styled after very cheaply made films from the 50s.
It's styled after kind of serials in Japanese cinema, mostly Kurosawa.
But yeah, I mean, particularly like your Buck Rogers type stuff.
Yeah, well, no, it's the George Lucas wanted to make Flash Gordon, but couldn't get the rights to it, so he made Star Wars instead. That's the story I hear a lot. Anyway,
It's certainly believable.
but also decided to seem to take the plot from the Hidden Fortress.
So the Lizardman just cast a spell on the handy fungus called Might, so I think it's now a mighty handy fungus. I should do some healing after this fight.
That would be a good idea.
How much healing can I do? I can do 4 heals. Actually.
This, the
Oh, crapsicles. That's not good. What killed me? I don't understand. So now I'm down to only item healing. Oh, sorry, I'm not far from a town. So I have to go south and then detour east. Yes, because what I actually need to do next in the plot is go back to my hometown. Because I can't recross that bridge. Unfortunately.
Oh,
Ah, here we go.
I saw a gold enemy. He ran away.
They do that.
He spawned right in front of a wall, and when a gold enemy hits a wall,
Yep.
he disappears.
I'm really, really bad at catching golds in Persona 3. I'm sure it's going to be a problem later on. How do I cross these cliffs? Oh, do I have to be like... I still don't understand what these pig catching minigame sections are for. They have good music.
Oh god, the Nintendo controller scheme just messes me up sometimes. You know where they swap like A, B, X and Y around?
Yeah, it bugs me on the Wii U that it's A is outside B.
I mean, that's... I played Nintendo stuff before I got onto other consoles, so it's kind of... I should be used to this by now.
And, like, that hasn't been the standard layout on a Nintendo console since the SNES? Like, N64 has A to the left of B, GameCube has... Oh no, GameCube has A to the right of B, but...
A to the right of B, because I've been playing on Nintendo 64 fairly recently.
Yeah, but, like...
The B button is green, so it looks like an A button.
No, the A button's green, the B button's red, but the B button's tiny.
No, the A button's green, the A button is blue.
Sorry, you're talking about N64, not GameCube.
Yeah, oh no, yeah. The GameCube, which I have... I should have one in front of me somewhere. Where the fuck's my GameCube controller?
Mine are out of reach.
It's usually under my desk, but no, the B button is to the bottom left
Yeah.
of A. So they're all kind of like that design. It's just the GameCube happens to have a massive A button on it.
Yeah.
In the middle.
And in fairness, on the 64, like
And the
on the N64, it's usually the lower button, the B button, that functions as confirm, and the outer button that functions as cancel. So it's the same functional layout, they're just labelled differently.
yeah, and if you play with the Wii Classic controller, it is the Nintendo ABXY layout. But they often do things like make B jump.
On the classic. Good grief.
Well, it's AB jump, XY dash or shoot or whatever.
Right, I'm going to try something possibly ill-advised. Because up here past the forest is another place where I can climb across between cliffs. That probably leads to at least third tier enemy zone. So I probably don't want to go there. But there might be loot. It's interesting to me how easy it is to tell in this game where the boundaries of the different enemy zones are.
Oh yeah.
Like, I literally know exactly where the line between, I guess it's actually second and third tier is. Because this is where I was doing my grinding before this stream session.
Oh yeah.
But the difference is, like, as you go between those two trees.
Yeah, I never seem to just know where the scene usually is. I guess it's more because I'm not necessarily paying as much attention.
Yeah. It's mostly because this game is so simple and so small.
Yeah.
What there is over here is just a random dude's hut. I'm sure it will be important later. But at the moment, it's a dead end.
I'll explain later. The dungeons in Tokyo Mirage Sessions seem to be kind of lengthy. Like,
Are they still procedurally generated?
no, they're not.
They're fully designed.
Yeah, they're designed because they've got sort of environmental stuff to avoid or contend with.
How's the level design then?
It's as much as like it kind of feels. I don't feel like there's a lot like with the puzzles that I think it mixes up the pacing of it, but it's not like it's not getting in the way though. That's the thing, because it's not. I don't think you'd want that.
No.
Suddenly have stumped by a puzzle in the middle of an RPG.
It's seldom welcome.
It is like the one dungeon I'm going through now. There are cameras everywhere. Not everywhere. There's like every so often there is a camera.
Yeah.
And
you have to avoid them, or
you have to avoid them. Yeah. Otherwise, you are then teleported to the start of that section.
Oh god! So it's kind of a stealth level. It's a JRPG. It's a JRPG's idea of a stealth level, which is always a bad idea.
It doesn't feel egregious because it's very obvious where the cameras are.
That's good, at least.
But it does things like put items in almost view of the camera.
Yeah. Tales of Zestiria has a faux stealth level that's like that, and it's just the worst. Because several of the cameras are really unpleasantly positioned. Just like hidden around corners and stuff. So, fuck off!
Whereas this one, they are really obvious.
That's good. And I think I'm ending this session by doing the exact same trek that I did at the start of it. Back from the Colosseum town to where my buddy is hiding out. Because at least now I know what's going on. But it means I get to go through this level for I think the 8th time. And okay, it's been shortened significantly since the time I went through it, but since the first time I went through it. But that also means that you can't get back to the magical spring of free healing.
No.
Yeah.
The music in Tokyo Mirage Sessions is really good. It's nice music.
I'd hope so.
I don't know if you can hear it.
It's not coming through.
Game about music.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty rough deal. Although, in some ways, it'd be a very Fire Emblem deal. Shit, this building hasn't been repaired.
A very Fire Emblem game?
Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind.
The only Fire Emblem games I've played have very good music in them.
Okay, so these guys haven't had their text updated.
Wait, what?
So I'm trying to find the next plot trigger. And I haven't found it yet. I thought it would be here, and I was expecting them to have new text, and they didn't have new text, so...
That kind of seems to be the general thing of in old JRPGs, is just scouring everything for a plot trigger.
Yep, certainly sometimes like that.
Dragon Quest can feel like that, but that's only sort of if you don't pay attention to... Like, you basically, in that game, have to ask all the townspeople, and they'll be talking about something, and you'll have an idea of where to go. Like, everything in that game's kind of functional, but in a way that still manages to feel not stilted, depending on which localization, I suppose. Not the faux Elizabethan English type thing. Which, there's the fan translation for Dragon Quest V, where there is an option to have a version of that fan translation which is in that style.
Good grief.
It's a bit silly, but I guess the effort's made for the people who want it. Have I just wandered around this dungeon, but have been around the exit the whole time?
Yikes.
God.
Where am I supposed to go? I think I might call this here and look up a guide.
Yeah.
I have killed some of the time before the Mario Maker run, and there are plenty of other games to play.
Yeah.
Whoops. Can I save here? Yes. Okay, thanks for stopping by.
All right.